welcome to the Girl Take Note podcast. I am your host, Shaunie Sanders. And listen, today we have a special guest. We have Rebecca Elizabeth Whitman with us. She's a mentor and author, and she's also a fellow podcaster. Her show is called Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Podcast. Welcome to the show, Elizabeth.
Thank you. It's so great to be here, Shaunie.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Listen, I love always talking to other fellow podcasters because you know what? The conversation just flows. You know what I mean? Because you know what it's like to be a host and to have guests on and to keep conversation just rolling, right?
Yes.
Okay, so before we jump into anything, kind of give me the story behind the brand. Tell me what inspired you to become the coach, author, all the things that you do. Kind of give me the story behind what inspired you.
Yes, it really blows my mind that I got ranked Best Life Coach of 2021 because I never wanted to be a life coach. I had a dream of wanting to be an actress, so I moved to Los Angeles 20 years ago. And I had small parts on huge shows like Friends, Yes, I Am 24. And I was never able to quite make a living at acting, so I found myself studying a lot of great spiritual teachings, people that we all know, like Abraham Hicks, Wayne Dyer, Michael Beckwith. And through applying those principles, I was able to make a six-figure income working part-time. The one area of my life that I really got my butt whooped in was my love life. I was going from bad relationship to toxic relationship, and I had a lot of heartbreak. There were a lot of times I was laying in the fetal position on the bathroom floor going, oh my God, when am I going to meet my guy?
We've all been there.
Right? And I was finally at an age where I was like, if I don't make it work, I'm not going to have a kid. So I tried to fit a square peg into a round hole. And I married a guy that was not the right husband for me. He's not a bad guy, but he was just not right for me and what I wanted in my life. And we had a very tumultuous marriage, and after 3 years, I filed for divorce. And as I was going through a really painful divorce, my dad was dying, and both events, it was really tough. Both events culminated the same week. On Wednesday was my dad's funeral, and on Friday, my divorce was finalized. And in my last conversation with my dad, he said, Rebecca, I want you to write something. The way you live your life is very unique, and I want you to share it with the world. And I had no idea what I was going to write, but I believe that God speaks through other people. Yeah. So 6 months later, I'm sitting in my financial planner's office, and he's like, Rebecca, you're coming in here with good energy, and you're having your best financial year ever. You're actually a millionaire this year.
Wow.
I know you lost your dad and your marriage. So what are you doing? How are you so resilient? And I said, that's what I'm going to write my book about. So I wrote a book. It's called How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. And in the book, I divided my life into 7 key areas. I call them the 7 pillars of abundance. When you have all 7 areas of life in alignment, you are balanced, beautiful, and abundant, and you can achieve anything you want. So now I'm married to my soulmate. I have multiple 6-figure incomes, and I've never been happier or healthier.
Listen, that is an amazing story. That's an amazing backstory.
Thank you.
It really is. God, it's like, listen, manifestation. I really been getting into a lot of manifestation, laws of attraction, and affirmations lately because I understand how powerful they are and how to be intentional about your living. I even started the Morning Miracle, and I finished that book, and I started having a morning routine because I know one of your things that you talk about is the importance of morning routines.
Yes.
So let's kind of touch on that because I tell you, when I do my morning routine, it really sets my day up for success. It really gets me. I can wake up maybe not feeling the best, but once I start my routine, and I get into meditation, I get into prayer, and I get into affirmations, and I'm listening to audio books, while I'm, doing things. It really sets my day and puts me in so much of a better mood, and I feel so much more productive.
Yes, I would love to share my morning routine. So right when I wake up, that is a great time to listen to an audiobook or a wonderful podcast like this one. Or something personal growth, because your mind is just open, your defenses are down because you're just waking up. So right away I like to listen to something that's positive. And then I am all about nutrition, so I drink lemon water. I have this awesome liquid collagen I drink, which is the fountain of youth. Then I make some hot tea, and I have a little nook in my couch that is my morning practice area. So I have a little area of spiritual books. I have my journal, and I have a great story. I met a woman about 30 years ago. I was in a 12-step meeting, and she sat down next to me, and she's like, "This is how you write a God journal." And she gave me this life-changing journal format. I've been using it almost every morning in my morning practice for 30 years, and it helps you reframe negative to positive in your life. It helps you learn from other people's successes, celebrate your own. It is the best journal. So I'm going to share that as a gift with your listeners. I call it my abundance journal, and I write in my abundance journal. I also have an awesome planner that I write in, and then I read from spiritual literature. If I have time, I'll do a guided meditation. A lot of times I don't. So I go to the gym, I work out, and then I'll do a guided meditation at lunch. And then my evening ritual is to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, to not bring my cell phone to the bed, which is one of the hardest things I do all day long, because it is easy to look at in the bed, but I know that's not good for my eyes and my mind and my sleep quality. And then I read something for a few minutes that's positive personal growth, and that's I really have a morning, midday, and an evening ritual that keeps me spiritually centered. And that's the first pillar of abundance. That's the most important pillar.
I listen, I love that, because I did start listening to bedtime affirmations.
Oh,
you know what I mean? But I'm still bringing my phone and I'm looking at like TikTok and Instagram before I go to bed. So I'm like, I need to stop doing that and just get into bed and listen to bedtime affirmation, because it's so hard for me to sleep, because I'm not a person that sleeps with the TV on, but my husband is. And so it's such a distraction for me. But when I put in my earbuds and I listen to bedtime affirmations, I go to sleep so much more peaceful, and I don't even necessarily hear the TV anymore.
That's amazing that you can fall asleep with the TV on. I would be really, that would wake me up. Do you sleep with earplugs in, or you sleep with your earbuds in?
It is so hard. Like when I know my husband is falling asleep, I'll turn it all the way down, because I tell you, I can even switch it off and all of a sudden he wakes up. And I've never been that person. I don't sleep with the TV on. I'm okay sleeping in darkness, people. I really am. But he's not. And I just turn it all the way down, and then I'm able to go to sleep. But then at some point he'll wake up, he'll turn it up, and I'm like,
I don't think there's anything wrong with married people sleeping in 2 different rooms, by the way.
you know what? Before I got married, I heard people say that. I was like, oh, I would never. I don't see nothing wrong with it now either. Because I don't think there's nothing wrong with you having the space where you can watch the TV all night, and I can sleep peacefully by myself without the TV on.
Exactly. Sleep is sacred.
It really is. I love that you said the 7 steps of abundance, right? And I love that because 7 pillars of abundance. And I love that because we all want to live a more abundant life. We're all doing affirmations where we want more abundance in our life, and it comes to financial, love, and everything. And to talk about love, I have so many friends who are single ladies who are looking to attract the right person in their life. You know what I mean? And I feel like I see them make the same kind of decisions over and over, because I think I was that person too. And I'm gonna tell you a personal story. I went to a personal development class, and it really kind of opened me up to what I really wanted, and not trying to prove myself, but just knowing that I have everything to share. And I think
class was that?
It was called Momentum.
Neat.
It was called Momentum. And it was probably one of the first personal development classes I took physically. But it really showed me that I don't have to prove myself to men to show that I'm the one you should choose. Rather than I have a lot to share with somebody. And once my mindset shifted, it just kind of opened up everything for me. And that's how I met my husband.
That's great.
So I believe in working on yourself, and your mindset has to change if you want to attract the person for you.
Yeah, I believe that there's masculine and feminine energy, and when women are chasing, hunting, and pursuing, they are going to attract feminine men who don't like to give and who are takers. And when women learn that they're the prize and that they are worthy of being pursued, that they're the ones who choose, not the men, then they are going to attract a masculine man who's going to want to give and protect her and be very, generous, be a great provider. And that's the shift that I had to make, because I'm a go-getter.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, apply the same effort in my love life that I did in my financial abundance, and it doesn't work. I had to learn to reel it back in and just to do the mindset work and get really clear about the type of man I wanted to attract. And if any of your listeners want a great assignment, if they haven't already done this, I would encourage them to write down a list of characteristics and qualities in the man that you want to attract.
Yeah, I think you just said something that blew my mind. It's like we become hunters, and then we attract those men that are more on the feminine side, in terms of like that's not looking to take care of the one. That is so true. When I think about it, you have just like blown my mind right now. I'm serious. That has just blown my mind. Okay, let's talk about entrepreneurship, because you are like queen of the side hustle, right? And so you have multiple streams of income coming in. Let's talk about, how did you get to that place where you said to yourself, you know what? I'm working here full time or part time. I need something else coming in. I need more. How did you get to that mindset?
It was really accidentally that I discovered multiple income streams, because I moved to LA thinking that I was going to be a working actress.
Yeah.
And that did not, work in the timely fashion that I needed. So I had to pay my bills, and I didn't want to be a waitress, because I had tried that in New York City and gotten fired from 2 restaurants. So I knew I was really bad at that. So I discovered the wonderful world of all commission sales. And I found a way to be the director of admissions at children's acting schools, which I loved working with kids because I don't have any kids. And I would get paid a commission if I sold them a package of acting classes. And I found that through an ad on Craigslist. So,
wow.
Yeah. So my first income stream was acting, not a very lucrative one. Then I found the kids acting school business, which was extremely lucrative for me. Just like a slam dunk, awesome sales job, which I started at 0 every week in all commission sales, but I've been doing it for 20 years and making 6 figures doing that, because I'm really passionate about acting. The next income stream I discovered was real estate. So I bought real estate in my early 30s, which is a pretty young age. And how did I know to buy real estate? I was at a very shallow bar scene, and instead of people saying, "What do you do?" they said, "Do you rent or you own?" I mean, can you imagine being in a bar like that? I didn't even know that was a thing. Do you rent or you own? Oh boy, I'm late to the party. I don't own yet. So all these people were asking me that. So I'm like, I better buy property. And through buying my first property in LA, I was able to take out the equity in that and buy other property. And now I own several properties in LA. I live in one and I rent the others. So that's another income stream. Then during the great pandemic, 2020 to 2023, I mean, I don't even know if it's over.
I know.
I was put on furlough from my kids' acting school job.
Yeah.
I remembered that I had a really great friend that was making 7 figures online in the health and wellness space. So I asked her to mentor me. And that's where I discovered the liquid collagen that I drink every day, and that I also am a brand ambassador for that. And then I also launched my coaching / podcast. So I am really busy, but it's all stuff that I really love. And I still have an acting agent. I don't get very many auditions, but I still have that income stream going, because why not have my fish in the pond? I'm in LA.
Yeah.
So those are all my income streams. And it's great, because if I have like a slow month in one of the businesses, then I'll inevitably have a good month in the other. And it really creates more stability in my life. And it's taught me a a lot about time management and time blocking, because obviously I can't work 4 businesses at the same time. So I have to be very deliberate with how I spend my time.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, how do you balance that with working those 4 businesses, being married, having your marriage, having a life, you know what I mean? How do you balance it all?
What I love about all these businesses is I have freedom to set my own schedule. Freedom to me is the number one thing in my life.
Yeah.
So I have my own schedule and I do time blocking. So I put it in my calendar, what hours am I working on what business? And I also make sure I have 2 days a week off. I pretty much have Friday and Sunday off. I might, do a couple phone calls or podcasts, but they're pretty much off so I don't burn out. Yeah. And then I also, I have a store closed thing, usually at around anywhere between 6 and 6:30, my store is closed and I have dinner with my husband and we watch Netflix or Hulu and we chill. So it's all about just being really deliberate with your schedule and just scheduling it in and then adhering to it. That's hard too. Like when you're in your own business, sometimes even if I schedule it in, I'm like, I need a nap. And that's too, to honor your body. Because my main thing is I want to help women overcome burnout. My mission is to take women from burned out to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. So there's someone that, actually 2 women that have made 7 figures in network marketing that I really look up to, but they completely depleted their health. And one of them cancer, the other one had to take 6 months off of bed rest. So it's like they made 7 figures in network marketing, but they lost their health. So that's why fitness is my second pillar of abundance. So the order, in my opinion, is an order of importance in how I live my life: spirituality, then fitness, then emotions, then romance, then mental, social, financial. Now, why is financial last? Everybody thinks financial should be first. Everyone's like, I'm going to work so hard, make all this money, then I'll hire a personal trainer and a chef, I'll get in great shape, then I'll attract the love of my life. Then we'll go on spiritual retreats, and then we'll meet other, woke couples, and we'll have great spiritual experiences and conversations. And then we'll work out together. So everybody thinks it's like the other way.
The money will fund the lifestyle, basically.
Yeah, but it's the other way. When you are healthy, when you're spiritually fit, when you have great friends, when you have romance in your life, you are going to attract financial opportunities.
Have you find it difficult for people to grasp the 7 pillars? Meaning, that's also grasp, but put them into practice. Have you find it hard for some of your clients to be able to really hone in on them and put them into practice?
I think so. People get fixated on one. People are usually obsessed with health. They want to lose weight or get healthy, which is, to me, the most important one. Romance, they have everything in the world, but if they only had someone to share it with. Or finance, they have everything, but they just want more money. So they get fixated on one of those 3. Those are the 3 hot areas. So I have different courses that help people. I have an 8-week course called Magnetize Your Soulmate in Midlife. I have an 8-week course called Creating a 6-Figure Side Hustle. And I also have just a general 7-week training called Elegant Warrior Training, teaching you how to have balance in all 7 areas. But I think everybody has an area that they struggle with, and that's why they listen to podcasts or, take a course or hire a coach, because they're looking for support in 1 or 2 of those areas.
Yeah, always trying to find a way to grow. Let's talk about the 6-figure, how to make the 6-figure with side hustle, because I know a lot of my audience are women who work full-time still, who have those side hustle businesses and really looking to scale those businesses. What are some of the tips that you can give them to say, hey, maybe you need to start doing X, Y, and Z in order to take your business to the next level?
Some tips are creating power hours.
I like that.
Look at your schedule and figure out how many power hours you can devote a week to your business, and block those out on Sunday night and put boundaries around that time. So don't answer your phone. don't check your social media. Don't let your kid come into the room where you're working.
Yeah.
Like, really be protective around those power hours. And some people want to have them at home. Some people, if your home life is crazy with a lot of young kids, then go to a Starbucks or go to a cafe where you can really be single focused. So I believe in single focus. Work on one thing for an hour. And I also believe in a method that is called the Pomodoro method, which is 25 minutes of total focus and a 5-minute break. So you can just focus your mind on a task for 25 minutes. Like, do not check your email, do not do anything. Go pedal to the metal, and then you have a 5-minute break. You can go to the bathroom, stretch, check your social media, pet your dog, and then go back and do another 25 minutes. So really, you're scheduling a power hour is a 50-minute sprint. And I would do those, however many hours you can do a week. I mean, for a long time, I did just 5 hours a week of power hours when I launched my health and wellness. Now, recently, I've found a way to do 10, and you just schedule those power hours. And also, you've got to be visible on social media.
Yes.
I don't care if you're an accountant. I don't care if you're a doctor, dentist. It doesn't matter. People are looking for business on social media. People want to do business with the people they like, know, and trust.
Yes.
So if you are not sharing your life on social media, it doesn't have to have anything to do with your business. People are voyeurs. They want to see, wow, what is she drinking? What is she getting at Starbucks?
Yeah.
And what is she eating? And how does she make her omelet? And they want to know.
They do.
And share your life. Post something on social media at least once a day, and share your life in stories, and share your life in reels, and be like a celebrity. So I like to think of your social media, you're the star of your own reality show, and your business is the commercial.
Oh, I like that.
So if you do 5 stories, 4 stories about the behind the scenes of your life, your pets, your kids, where you're going that day, and then 1 slide is about your business. Because if you just do business, then people will stop following you. So think of your life. You're now the star of your own reality show.
Yes.
And your business is a commercial.
I like that, because you're right. Because if people hit you so much with the business, you're just like, ugh. But I get caught up in looking at people's stories, looking at their lives, what they're doing, where they're going. I get so caught up in what people are eating.
Yeah,
I get fascinated watching people cook and watching people eat. I don't know why. Like, it's so huge. So many people love to watch other people eat. But yeah, I have yet to do a video where I just eat, like a stories.
Yeah, people want to know what you're eating, how you're making your smoothie.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
They do. So when it comes to the side businesses, would you say that, hey, you can start them all at once, or you start them one at a time, get them going, and then move on to the next?
I would say start them one at a time, get to a level of proficiency, and then start another one. But, it's best when the businesses are cohesive. So like I have a coaching business where I coach women on how to be balanced, beautiful, and abundant. So then I also have a business where I help women lose weight and look younger through taking liquid collagen. So those businesses kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's good to have businesses that are going hand in hand. So if you're a service provider, you can promote a product that would support the service that you provide. So I think that is a great way to have multiple income streams. And it doesn't have to be like a ton. Like if you just work a 9-to-5 now, just start one side hustle, learn about it, take a course, get a coach, get that to a certain level where you're comfortable and you're making a little bit of money. It doesn't have to be a ton. I mean, everything adds up. If you had 3 businesses that only made $5,000 a year, that's an extra $15,000.
Yeah.
What could you do with that? That could make a big difference in your year.
Yeah, that really could. I like that, because it kind of all meshes all together when you start businesses that kind of like can complement each other, because then you have the podcast that's kind of the same rim as that. So that's good advice. That's good advice for them to know, hey, if you want to have multiple ones, just start something that's kind of like can work with each other. Do you normally get clients that come in and have so many ideas? Because I have friends that have so many ideas and they want to do, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And do you have to kind of like, okay, let's narrow it down, let's focus? Or either, how do you deal with that client that comes with all their ideas and they just want to do everything?
You have to focus them on what they want the most.
Yeah.
And what is their heart really wanting? Like, put your hands on your heart and like, what do you really want? I had a client who, she was really bored. She's like, I just want a more exciting life. I'm really bored. I want to start some hobbies.
Yeah.
And I kept asking her, well, what is it that you really want? Like, what makes you happy? And she's like, I'm actually happiest when I'm like outside in nature. And then she realized she was renting and she wanted to buy her first home, because when she was renting, she's sharing space with other tenants in apartments and in condos. She wanted to have her own yard where she could just have her own space and be outside. But she came to me thinking she wanted a hobby. So you just ask them over and over again, what is it you really want? What does your heart want? What would make you happy? And you help them narrow it down. Yeah,
I like that, because it's true. Because now I'm at a place in my life where I only want to do things that bring me joy. Yes. I don't want to do something that feels like too much work. I want to be happy while I'm doing it. And that's the reason why I even started this podcast, because I'm like, I used to love being on radio. I used to do it a long time ago. I want to get back to it. And it always brought me joy. And I believe we need more joy in our lives.
Yes, I believe joy is the evidence of God.
Oh,
what
yes.
did you do in radio?
I used to work with Sirius Satellite Radio. And so I was on a personality. I did entertainment news and sports news there. And so I feel like starting this podcast, I came back full circle, like, hey, I'm going back to my roots and my radio days. It was like before they merged with XM, it was just Sirius and XM at that time. And I used to do radio and I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I appreciate the people who taught me how to talk on radio, how to be more conversational, because before I used to just read, but I'm really happy about it. And so it's been good. It really has. It's been really good. But let's talk about how to live abundant and how to really go that route. I know my screen is like, my screen is just went black.
I'm like, what happened to you?
Oh my God. I'm telling you, I'm using a webcam and because my camera is down. And now I'm on a webcam.
Okay, no problem. We can keep going.
Oh my goodness. I can't even believe that it's not even come back yet. That's what's killing me right now.
It's okay. Most people are listening, not watching anymore.
Yes. Okay. So let's get back to the abundance and let's talk more on that, because I think that's such a big subject. Like I said, a lot of people are really into manifestations, really trying to find a way to bring more abundance, more love, more money, all that stuff into their lives. And so how do you help a person become more balanced and get more abundance in their life?
Most people think of abundance as money, but abundance is actually all of your life.
Yeah.
You can have an abundance of health and have extra energy, so you can start all these side hustles that we're talking about. You can have an abundance of friends, so you have people who lift you up and carry you through the ups and downs of life. You can have an abundance of romance and have a sexy, intimate, committed relationship, or not committed if that's what you are into. But you can have an abundance of anything. So I believe that you're either looking through the world through a lens of scarcity or not enoughness, which is, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? I'm getting too old. I'm missing all my dreams. I missed the boat. Why does that person over there have it so easy and I have it so tough? And if you're looking through the world as a victim, you're going to be in scarcity. Or you can look at the whole world as abundant. I mean, there's an abundance of air and water and love, and there's an abundance of money. There's an abundance of everything. If you think of the world as abundant, then you are going to attract abundance in all these areas. So you get to change your paradigm. I used to be a total victim.
Yeah.
I was like in the woe is me, ain't it awful crowd, and I learned how to become grateful. So I feel that writing a gratitude list is a practice that will shift you from the scarcity to the abundance mentality. And if you don't have a practice of writing a gratitude list, that would be one thing that you could take away from this podcast and start doing today that would change your life. Write a gratitude list every single day of at least 10 things that you're grateful for.
I think that works. I realized my cell phone died completely.
It's okay. We'll just keep going.
Oh my God. This is so funny to me. I swear this has never happened. This is going to be probably an audio only podcast until we get to this portion here. We'll just probably cut it off at YouTube. But okay. But yeah, I think you're right. A lot of us think of abundance in different ways. What do you tell a person who want to start that side hustle, still working full time? What do you tell them? How do you help them get started with that side hustle?
So a lot of business coaches will tell you to quit your jobs, max out your credit cards. You have to put yourself in a do or die situation to make money. And I feel that is very masculine. When women are in fight or flight mode, they're in desperation, and you want to attract clients through service, not desperation, through wanting to be of service. And if you're looking at a client going, oh my God, if she doesn't buy my product, good, or service, I won't pay my rent. Yeah. People can smell that fear. So it's really important to come from contribution, not desperation, and to want to make a difference in the world with your business. So I encourage women to keep their job, pay their bills, feed their family, feel comfortable, and to use their extra time and money in a side hustle. So how do we start a side hustle? Yeah. What are you passionate about? What do people come to you for advice? What is it that you would talk about for a half an hour and not have to look at any notes? What is it that you're naturally good at? What is it that you have overcome? A lot of women start side hustle from their pain. They say your message is in your mess. If you've been through a painful situation like a divorce or grief or something, serious, you can coach someone to do what you did to get to the other side. So these are all questions that you can ask yourself to figure out, what is that passion project? What would you do even if you didn't get paid? Yeah. What would you do if you won the lottery and didn't have to work for a living? Those are clues as to what your first side hustle should be. Yeah, I like that. And you're right. A lot of people would tell you to quit that full-time job. But I tell people, I look at my job as my funding source, as part of my funding source to help fund my business until it's able to generate the income on its own. And I think that's important because having that side hustle and, taking that leap from full-time employee to full-time entrepreneur, it's a journey. You know what I mean? It's an evolution, it's ever changing, and it's a journey. And I think that's really good. The tips you gave them on how to identify what that side hustle can be, because you're right. If it's something you're passionate about, then you might as well do it. Because I just recognized, I was just telling someone else that, hey, I've been talking to a lot of people about podcasting and how to start podcasting and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should do a course on it or something, because a lot of people ask me questions about it. And you said that you remembered how happy and good you felt about yourself when you were on the radio. Yes. So you can also look back on your life. Was there a period of time where you felt really confident and happy doing something? Yes. You can go back to that. Like you went back to that by starting a podcast because you feel really good being an on-air personality. Yeah, I did. And that's why I was able to kind of make my way over to this. It's so funny. I remember I used to do this thing called Blog Talk Radio before podcasting was even a thing. And it was all live. It was all calling. You were actually calling on the phone and do your shows that way. But it was like all live. And now podcasting came and it's just so much better, so much easier. And I'm so happy that I'm able to be back in this space, doing what I love and being able to interview, wonderful people like you. Well, thank you. You're a great host. Thank you. Aside from the technical difficulties. Well, we keep going, right? That is part of being an entrepreneur, is having grit, resilience and grace. So we just keep going. When the camera's on or off, it doesn't matter. We keep going.
That's right. Let's talk about mindset. What type of mindset you have to be able to manage that side hustle, to stay sane on the job itself? What kind of mindset do you think you have to have for that?
That's a great question. I like 3 words that help with my mindset, and that is acceptance, faith, and surrender. So accepting that there are going to be ups and downs when you're an entrepreneur, like with you, your camera went off. Acceptance is really important, because when I'm fighting with reality, I'm wasting a lot of energy. So, I can't fight with what is actually happening. I have to accept it and then go from there. So acceptance, having faith that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be on my entrepreneurial journey, that I'm learning, that I'm growing, that it's not an overnight, there is no such thing as an overnight success. They say, show me an overnight success and I'll show you someone who's been working their butt off for 10 years. Having faith that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And as long as I'm learning something every day and getting just a little bit better, I'm getting closer to my goals. And the joy is in the journey. It is in the learning, becoming. It's not in, getting the house or the car. We think it is, but then 5 minutes later, we're like, all right, I got the house, I got the car, now what? So to find the joy in the journey and have faith. And then the third thing is surrender and not be a control freak. I'm a recovering perfectionist control freak. So surrender to me is doing it messy, being outrageous, having fun, being playful, doing it big, and then surrendering the results. Like, I'm in the action business and God is in the results business, and I get to do big and do it messy and have fun with it. It's like, I think of a little kid with their finger paints, you know, they are like, covered head to toe with paint, and it might not be the best work of art, but they had the best time doing it. And I think having fun gets it done. And when you're in analysis paralysis, if you're just studying being an entrepreneur and not actually doing the action, you're not going to get anywhere. So do the action and then surrender the results.
I like that, because doing it messy is so important, because I think sometimes the entrepreneurs, or even just to get started with any business, we always think we got to be in this perfect place, we got to have the perfect time, it has to have the perfect right amount of finances, the business has to be, idea has to be perfect, when it's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can work on it along the way. But if you have something great, then just do it. Don't be afraid to step out on faith and just do it.
Yes. And the universe loves speed. Money loves speed. So sometimes when we slow it down to make sure we have all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed, we actually push away money. So, just keep going for it and know that there's no failure. You either win or you learn.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Either you win or you learn. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So I like that. So it's good to have that job. It's good to have it, to keep it, to fund what you need to have in your business and to be successful, and then the transition comes along the way when you're ready to transition into being full-time with their business. Because I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs who took that leap and they're kind of like, it was super scary, because you go away from that. I got this guaranteed check coming in. So I feel like, I don't know, but to take that leap and to do something you love, even while you're still working, it still brings you joy overall.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like that. So what do you want to offer? I know you have some stuff that you want to offer our audience and make sure how they can work with you further.
Yeah. So I have a couple things. I want to offer the Abundance Journal, which is amazing.
Yes.
It'll be wonderful for your either morning or evening practice. Shaunie, you're going to have my link tree, which has a couple of my other offerings in it. I have 7 pillars of abundance in 7 days for $7. It's a 7-day challenge to learn the 7 pillars of abundance. That's a really fun thing, just to kind of get your life accelerated and level up quickly. I also am hosting a free women's circle on Tuesdays, actually in 15 minutes on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And it's a women's circle for accountability support, to learn the 7 pillars, and just for community. Social is the 6th pillar of abundance, because having a community of women that are ambitious and like-minded that want to collaborate with you can help you reach your goals faster. So all of those offerings you can find on my website, RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com. You can find me on Instagram at Rebecca E. Whitman, and Twitter and Clubhouse at the same, at Rebecca E. Whitman.
Yeah, and then we'll make sure we link the stuff in the show notes too for those people to grab it really quickly from here as well. This has been a really good show. I'm so happy we're able to do this.
Yeah, it was so great to meet you, Shaunie, and you're a great host, and I love the fact that you lost your camera, but you're still going because we're hearing each other. And this podcasting is an audio platform.
Yeah, it is.
So as long as we got it.
Exactly, it is. Now, before we end the show, I'm going to ask you the question that I ask all my audience, not my audience, but my guests that come on the show is, what was some of the best advice you received from another woman?
Wow, one of the best things I've ever received from another woman as far as advice is from a coach named Shaunie Sanders, and she said, when in doubt, focus out.
Ooh.
So when I am nervous, when I'm speaking or on a podcast or at a summit, I am thinking about myself and my insecurities. But if I focus out on the people that I'm communicating with, connecting with them, the message that I want to help them receive, landing my message, then I'm no longer nervous. So focus out. When in doubt, focus out.
Oh my God, that's a good one. But Rebecca, you're such a great talk. You have such a great speaking ability. I wouldn't even think you get nervous, like speaking in front of crowds. You do it so well.
Oh, you're so sweet. I get nervous with technology.
Like what happened with me, right?
Yeah, right. I get nervous sharing slides and getting in front of the screen and all that kind of stuff. I love talking. Thank you for acknowledging that. That is one of my superpowers. I love talking and communicating with people, but it's the technology piece that gets me a little nervous.
I get it. Listen, technology, you can't even depend on it. Okay, that's what happens. It goes down sometime. But thank you so much for coming on this show. I really do appreciate it. This has been a great conversation. I am Shaunie Sanders. This is the Girl Take Note podcast, and we will talk to you next time.
Thanks, Shaunie.